Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're taking a look at a pair of true wireless earbuds that I'm absolutely in love with because they combine some of my favorite technologies. But before we jump into that, I just want to say if this is your first time to the channel, welcome to Plug and Play. If you like this video and you want to see more reviews just like it, please consider subscribing. Hit that bell notification so you don't miss any other videos. But without further ado, let's jump into the review. So the true wireless earbuds that I'm talking about today are the Rowkin Ascent Charge true wireless earbuds. Now, these guys are feature-packed and action-packed. The audio quality is fantastic, the design is great, but there are some flaws, so we'll talk about those as well. So let's jump into the pros. So the first pro that I want to talk about really quickly is the audio quality. Now, that is one of the most important things you're looking for when you're trying to buy a pair of earbuds, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't be buying earbuds. You want to hear something, you want to hear clearly. It's pretty simple, and the Rowkin Ascent Charge do very, very well in this area. Now, I've tried a lot of earbuds, headphones from top name brands like Sony and Bose down to cheap stuff from Amazon to stuff that comes packaged in your cell phone case. And honestly, I can tell you that these are a premium quality piece of equipment. They are tuned really well and the sound profile is awesome as far as I'm concerned. So let me explain what I like and see if it matches up with yours. So if you guys haven't seen any of my other videos when it comes to in-ear buds or your headphones, things like that, I'm not a huge bass fan. Now, before you get all saying, wait a second, what are you talking about? You're not a bass fan. Let me explain. I'm not a bass fan in the sense that I don't like overbearing bass that takes over the mid or the high ranges, things like that. I enjoy bass. You have to enjoy bass. It's part of the audio scale, right? You have to enjoy that tone, the deep tones, that kind of rich tones. And believe me, I listen to a lot of electronic music. When there's a big drop in a song and there's a huge bass note, I feel it. I love it. That's what I want. That's what I'm looking for. My point here is that I don't like stuff where it's just a constant droning bass, or it's just too overbearing or too loud, or the bass is just too accentuated, right? I like a nice, like, well-flowing range. I like my lows, my mids, and my highs well represented. I like to hear the little tiny audio things throughout the song that make it unique and that the artist put time into putting into that. That's how I enjoy my music, and that's what the Rowkin Ascent Charges do. With my experience, ever since I figured out this one little issue, I've been absolutely loving them. They are my daily drivers. I keep them in my pocket. They go with me everywhere. They are my current favorite true wireless earbuds, hands down across the board. So let's jump into talking about the design. Now, the design of the Ascent Charges is a little bit different, right? This isn't your typical look, right? Everyone thinks true wireless earbuds, they think of iPod, you know, the iPhones, you know, the Apple brand, whatever the heck you call them. You know, I don't even have any. I'm not interested in them. I was looking into something a little bit different. And so if that's what you're looking for, that's not what these are, right? They're a very, very different look. And let me explain what I mean by that. So as you can see in this close-up view that I'm going to show you here, they're very unique. They've got a kind of a drum shape. What I mean by that is they're cylindrical. They're not that, you know, teardrop with the little thing sticking down below like the Apple AirPods are. They're kind of a drum shape. When they're in your ears, my wife kind of said that they're kind of like you're like Frankenstein. They kind of stick out. They're kind of like look like bolts kind of going into your ears, which is probably not the best way to explain it, but I actually like them. I think they look unique, and they've actually started a couple conversations, which has been pretty fun. You'll find that they've got a nice textured outer rim, and I really respect this. I really like this design choice because some of the true wireless earbuds, they're so smooth, and when they're kind of manipulating them or you're putting them in your hands or you're holding them in your fingers, you know, they can be slick if they're smooth, things like that. These have a nice feel. They go in and out really well. The grip really helps with that as well. They've got a nice chrome finish on the inner side, which is very smooth and goes into your ear very cleanly. You know, there's no matte finish to it or anything like that, so it feels really good in your ear. And it's also got the ergonomic angle, which means that, you know, when they're kind of placed in there properly, they fit well down into your ear canal, and they just kind of fit perfectly and they sit really well. The reason why they have this also is because of the touch controls, which we'll talk about in a little bit. This is where I want to talk a little bit about the issue I was mentioning with the sound. Now, this isn't directly connected to sound, but for me it was. So when you pull the Ascent Charges out of the packaging, the first thing you're going to notice is that, yeah, they're a little bit weird looking in a certain sense, but there's this black disc that kind of goes around the outside. And at first you're kind of like, wow, that's a really interesting look. And you look on the packaging, it's part of the pictures, it's on the website, it's everywhere, right? It's part of the design. That little thing is designed to kind of help it stay in your ear better. It gives it a little bit of rubberized grip that can help, you know, from shaking out. Some people, if you've got bigger ears or your ears are shaped a different way, that might help keep them in if you have problems with them falling out. For me, what that actually does is it keeps it from going all the way into my ear canal. it actually acts as a stopper from keeping that earbud going all the way down in there. And that did multiple things. One, it was uncomfortable for me. Two, it kind of stopped this rubberized ear tip from doing its job and isolating the sound. It didn't allow that to happen. And so for the first couple days when I didn't realize that was really the problem, there was constant, I wasn't able to get a good clean sound. It sounded tinny. I had a lot of outside sound seeping in around the edges because it wasn't getting a good seal. And I was really, really underwhelmed by the earbuds just in general. A couple days in, after playing with it, because I was going to review it, so I had to keep testing it. Finally, one day I was pulling them out, and my finger pushed the little ear rubberized ear thing, and I found that they came off. They come completely off. They're not designed to be on there unless you want them on there. As soon as those came off and that little barrier was free, it plugs directly into my ear canal, and that changed the game entirely. So immediately after removing that little ear ring, these earbuds fit perfectly. They fit tight. The noise isolation was perfect, and it bumped up the sound quality to maximum. I am so excited that I found out that you could take those off. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you order the Rowkin Ascent charges and for some reason they feel uncomfortable, they're not fitting properly, pull that ring off and try it again. I sometimes have to kind of figure out which way they fit in because of that ergonomic angle. You got to make sure you get that fit right. So kind of twist them around a little bit and you'll find the spot. Once you hit it, it's bliss. The touch controls on the Ascent charges are awesome as well. When you put them in, you have them fit in there right. The touch controls are on both sides. They're really easy to access. I'm going to put up a little graphic that's going to show you what all the different controls do. Those will be popping up here in just a second, but they're super simple. It allows you to have full, complete freedom, control over your music and your phone calls without having to pull your phone out, without having to touch anything. You literally can just tap on your earbuds to control everything. It's super fantastic and such a nice feature. So moving on to the next thing that I'm freaking in love with these earbuds is the case. The case is awesome. Let me explain why. So if you remember me going back into the intro, talking about how they combined multiple technologies that I love, the case is where they did it. They added QI or Qi charging into the case itself. So it's got USB-C capability, so USB-C charging. You've got the light indicators here on the bottom, right? It's a nice slide out case, slides out just like that. It's got a nice magnetic closure, but the thing is that this portion right here is actually Qi charging capable. The great thing is now I have wireless chargers everywhere. I'm a wireless charging guy. I have them in the office, on my desk, on my nightstand, everywhere. The cool thing is now I can charge my case and my earbuds by just putting it right down on one of my current existing chargers and it starts charging. Wireless charging is amazing. If you don't know what wireless charging is or how it works, check out this video that's popping up above my head here in just a second. And I made a video just kind of explaining how that works so you can learn a little bit more. So the design of the earbuds mixed with the design of the case and how easily it works and just how compact it is. It's got a nice little faux leather strap on here. It just works really well. It feels premium. They sound premium once you get them kind of figured out. And then the last thing that I want to talk about really quick too is the app. The app is awesome. So the first thing I want to mention about the app is it's not required. You don't need to install it if you don't want it. They'll work perfectly without it. All the features that you need are self-sufficient, but if you want to use some of the more advanced features of the Rowkin Ascent charges, you're going to want to use the app. So here's why. So when you first open the app and you pair up your device, you're going to see a lot of information that you have here. Right off the bat, you're going to see the volume, the battery charge levels of both the left and the right earbuds, which is really convenient. Down below, you've got sound controls. They put a nice little spot where you can see every control and how to use it. Another cool feature is this thing called Find My Rowkin. Now this is it seems like it's kind of in its early phase, but it works really, really well. So if you're listening to your music, you open up the Rowkin app, it's going to automatically take a location using your GPS on your phone and mark that down. So let's say, you at the Starbucks, you're at a coffee, you're listening to your music, you get up and leave and you leave your Rowkins behind on the desk. Well, if you open up this app, it's going to show you the last place that it connected to the app so you can know basically kind of where to start your search. Pretty convenient. The next feature that I want to tell you about too goes back to the beginning with the sound quality. Now, I told you guys that I'm not a huge bass person as far as overbearing bass, but if you like bass and you want to change that, you can do it from the app. If you go into the app, you hit the sound setting here, you're going to see that there's 5 different options as far as different sound choices. Now, if you really want to see the bass, you want to feel that deep bass, you hit the button and you hit update to my Rowkin. It automatically changes the tuning on your Rowkin devices. So now you're getting bass boost, rock, acoustic, electronic, or a flat audio signature, which is awesome. So if you want a customized feel with the Rowkin, a customized audio experience, the app is the way to go. So at the end of the day, guys, I'm absolutely loving the Rowkin Ascent charges. The sound quality is great, battery life's fantastic. If you want to learn more about the Rowkins, you want to order them, check out more information, learn about the specs, I put a link, like I always do, in the description below, so you can check those out on Amazon, as well as the Rowkin website. Overall, they're my favorite. They're my favorite true wireless earbuds on the market right now that I've tested. I've got a few more coming up, so we'll see if they hold out. But right now, they're in my pocket. They're my everyday drivers. I absolutely love them. The Rowkin Ascent charges are fantastic. So that's it for me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you want to argue with me about my experience versus your experience, please throw it down in the comments below. I'd love to have a conversation with you. But thank you so much for checking this video out. Hopefully it was helpful for you. Again, that's it for me, and I'll see you guys next time.